10 cities to visit in Switzerland. With the plethora of beautiful lakes, mountains and rivers that dot Switzerland, it's unsurprising that so many of its cities lie amidst such spectacular scenery. Castles and churches rise imperiously above the red rooftops of the buildings, while the ancient cobbled streets lead you on to yet more magnificent sights. Perfectly mixing the old with the new, museums and galleries, bars and restaurants make the best cities in Switzerland lively places to visit. 10. Thun. Lying alongside the banks of the Aar River, Thun is ringed by mountains and looks like the archetypal Swiss town. With a domineering castle overlooking the city, old buildings lining the riverside, and cafes along the waterfront, Thun is a charming place to wander around. There's a certain energy about the city and unique artisanal shops dotted about its streets. 9. Bellenzona. With 3 medieval fortresses lying around this city and its beautiful location at the point where several valleys join, it is somewhat surprising that Bellenzona's wealth of attractions receive relatively few visitors. The old town is a pleasure to wander around, and its twisting alleys are home to Renaissance churches, homely cafes and chiming bell towers, all of which gives Bellenzona a charming feel. Once ruled by the Italians, Swiss and Italian culture mixed together in this delightful hidden gem. 8. St. Gallen. Steeped in history, St. Gallen's ancient streets are perfect for history buffs to revel in. Its picturesque squares and tiny cobbled alleyways weave their way about the old part of town, until you suddenly stumble across the impressive cathedral towering above you. The main attraction is the beautiful Baroque library located in the abbey, containing a large number of books dating back to medieval times. A cultured seat of learning, St. Gallen is set amongst roving green hills, while mountains can be seen far off in the distance. 7. Lugano. Set in the Italian-speaking part of Switzerland, Lugano lies on the shores of Lake Lugano and has mountains throughout the landscape surrounding it. Along with its scenic setting, Lugano is a chic and glitzy place to visit, thanks to its upmarket boutiques, restaurants and bars. Its delightful cobbled streets snake away from the heart of the city at Piazza della Riforma, and there are some great promenades along the waterfront which offer fantastic views over the lake. With a fine cathedral, a great modern art museum, and hiking on offer in the nearby mountains, Lugano has more than enough to make it worth stopping by. 6. Lausanne. Buzzing with life, Lausanne's large student body makes it a fun city in which to spend some time. There's an upbeat and youthful feel about the city, and it's a great place to hit the town due to its bustling nightlife scene. More than just a university town, Lausanne is beautifully located on the hillsides overlooking Lake Geneva. The city drips down the gentle slopes, with the beautiful Gothic old town located at the top. There are some great museums scattered around, or take some time to relax in the many cafes and bars that line the warehouses along the waterfront at the bottom of the city. Lausanne has something for everyone. 5. Geneva. The second largest city in the country is a wealthy, cosmopolitan place that certainly has a luxurious feel. Home to numerous international organizations, such as the UN and World Bank, there is an opulence and glitter about its streets. Lying on the shores of Lake Geneva, the city has a plethora of expensive hotels, boutiques, and restaurants for visitors to choose from, although there is, of course, another side to Geneva. Head to neighborhoods such as Les Grottes and Quartier des Paquis and you'll soon find bars with bucket loads of ambiance and energy, a world away from the stuffy corridors of the UN. 4. Basel. Located on the banks of the Rhine, Basel's strategic location right on the borders of France and Germany has seen wealth accumulate in the city as trade and commerce flowed through its streets. Consequently, it has a host of fine old buildings and there is a wealthy vibe about the place. There are also some fantastic museums and galleries on offer. Although it is not as picturesque as Bern, Basel still has a lovely old town which is worth visiting, and some great architecture both old and new located around its confines. To get a feel for the everyday life of its residents, head to Kleinbasel to enjoy some fine dining down on the riverbanks. 3. Bern. The picturesque capital of Switzerland is a dream of a place. Walking around the winding cobbled streets of the old town, you'll pass fountains and bell towers interspersed among the plentiful old buildings. Many edifices date back over 500 years, to when Bern was reconstructed following a fire. The coherent design and architecture is in part what makes the city so impressive. There are over 6 kilometers of covered arcades in Bern, giving it a distinctive feel, and these house a number of great bars, restaurants and shops. Dripping with history, the city also has a lot of good museums which are worth checking out. Bern's beautiful location, on a peninsula surrounded by the tree-lined Aar River, only adds to its charm and laid-back vibe. 2. Lucerne. This beautiful city is absolutely stunning to visit, thanks to the surrounding mountains and the glistening lake that borders it. There are a number of great views to be had, and, in addition to the picture-perfect scenery, Lucerne has a delightful medieval quarter which only adds to the charming feel. The winding alleys of the old town weave their way along the banks of the river that runs through the center, and strolling along the waterfront in the sun is simply heavenly. 1. Zurich. The largest city in Switzerland lies on the shores of Lake Zurich. It has the river Limmat twisting through it and snow-capped mountains lying on the horizon. Along with its enchanting setting, the city is a vibrant and lively place that is great to live in as well as explore as a visitor. Zurich is the perfect mix of old and new, as its hip cultural and art scene perfectly blends with the delightful historic center. The trendy city has some great shopping, as well as fashionable cafes and a happening nightlife.